she told me
How's
that
it going?
she thinks it's a good idea for me to sleep 5, 6 times a
What have
night.
you two been up to
And
lately?
then she fills in the gaps at home.
Yeah.
I was like, really? So I had set
Okay.
this clinic up, and my girl was asking,
Hey, how are you?
good.
Bob, Andrea.
Yeah,
Oh, good. Can't miss it. Hi, I'm Mary Alice. Okay, Lacey, it's nice to meet you. I think I have because you rode with Ann Hornby. Yes, nobody died. It's cute. I was one of the few people that saw it, or there was a lot of people.
Right. Yep.
Because I saw it and
Okay.
it was, yeah, you tell me. It's so super. I watched the whole thing.
Okay.
Very,
Yeah. Good. Okay. Let's start your warm up. Let me see what you got.
she's a very warm person.
How are you? Good to see you. Everybody's back again.
We're back again. Horses and
We're not
all.
any older, right?
No, no older.
But, yeah, I would describe him like lukewarm champagne. Bubbly and like, fun.
Sorry to bother you again, Miss Jenny. Would you like
So you gotta- you
one?
gotta
Like
sip
they're
it
about
small.
this size?
Dad, did he say something for you? It was for you.
One biscuit.
Ah,
maybe.
so
That's
that
not what you went for. He said something about
was 7 hours long. We usually something in 15 minutes. We talked together some of the longest.
Yes.
Isn't that neat? So, okay. I did not watch anything for the whole year.
What is that?
It's a reality show where they follow paramedics on the
Did not know.
Did First Responders Live on Fox, and my partner were on that one. So both shows wrapped, whatever, going on about my life, and the owner of the production company
Very good.
had my phone, and I was like, wow. So I answered, just like, hey.
So as you're driving
wanna
along,
know
try to keep this a
the
little
interesting
bit
in-
more consistent. I want you to think about everything being just a little bit
Being a
smoother
part of
with
a
him.
different
You
show,
know,
and I
like
was like,
he's sensitive enough in the bridle that you don't need to be too quick with your fingers and too supplely because he's there. Think about all of your lines, kind of along the line of what you were just saying, but along the lines of that. You keep that. Come here a second.
something that you definitely not used to. Unless you have, what are your thoughts on the medium, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I'm open to it. I know we're not the only things.
Yeah, I think it's cool.
And anyway, come to find out that she was asking me for.
Well, had you already emailed him?
No, I literally had to Google who he was while I was on the phone with her.
Now, how did you find out? I just started watching it, and he had a Netflix series, and then I'm watching, and y'all were the last ones. And I'm like, wait a minute.
series is that?
Life After Death?
Yeah, I left it after that. And it was so funny. They said, oh, this one's from New Orleans. And I went, New Orleans? They said New Orleans, but when they showed the place, I was like, that doesn't look like
Yes.
New Orleans. But I figured New Orleans is probably a bigger attraction than that.
Yeah, I haven't.
You haven't watched it?
I don't know watch myself.
Yeah. I don't know.
Like I haven't seen any of the episodes for the other shows. I
I don't think I could watch myself either.
I can watch it like when they release like.
Hey, girl.
So did he come out and tell you something so like profound?
Yeah.
Because I met with a medium
I
in Arizona, and actually it was the medium asked me, "Do you know a Robert?" I went, "No, Robert." She goes, "Well, a Robert that recently lost his wife." I went, "Bob."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it was Eileen.
Yeah.
And she
was trying to communicate.
Yeah. She had the medium tell me to tell Bob, "Thank you for taking care of me." And then it was Beth and Eileen fighting over the mic. The medium was
just wanted to talk to you about it.
I'm gonna go and watch that.
Because he was pretty cool. And I've never heard of him either. I don't even know how I found him.
Tyler.
Yeah, except I watched this other series. And he, I recognized your hair too.
The hair is definitely.
That's what got me the. Wait a minute. I know her. I know that hair.
Oh, it'll be good.
And where do I watch that?
If you somewhere else.
Spot?
Well, it's all gonna see us when we go up.
Good. Looking good.
You looking pretty good too. We're all getting a little older.
Yeah. Walking a little different.
So, between pins and tape, and surpass that. That's a lot of that. Come on, dude. And corn that comes down.
No, not in.
What do you do?
My name is Lacey Spencer. I'm a
trained.
paramedic for East Baton Rouge EMS. Absolutely.
Good.
Sometimes you get a minute.
It is often in the hands of
Only
law
water.
enforcement.
Coach.
July 17, 2016, a man came into our city and murdered a fellow responder.
Yeah, exactly. Just feel wherever he goes, especially on this left side, elastic. That's it. Yeah. And it doesn't mean that you can't shorten your arms and get your hands out in front of you if you want. And then experiment with it a little bit. Like now, as he's going along, first of all, plan your line a little bit better, that you don't keep cutting your corners. You know, plan where you want to go. I don't care where you go, but plan it in a nice, steady, smooth line. Plan your line ahead so he has an idea. If he feels from you where you're about to go, it'll drastically change his feeling. That's it. So have your plan to make a nice turn through this short side. That's it. Yeah. Like that. And now experiment a little bit. Now with like what I was doing on the other end of the range, you put your hands a little forward towards his mouth, but piece by piece, without dropping the contact, just see what he accepts. Okay, not right now. Like right there when he comes a little bit up and against you, don't over exaggerate your reaction. You just stay steady like the bobber at the other end, and then you just massage around it. That's when your fingers say, "But come on, be a little softer." There. And then when it's all good, now test that feeling that your arms can stretch just a little and invite him to stretch in his neck just a little. That same feeling as it when I was at the other end of the reins. Yeah, exactly. And then as your arms say, come on, stretch your neck out a little bit, your fingers can still communicate with him just a little bit as far as just rolling a little bit in the bridle and saying, hey, pay attention here. That's it. So it's your fingers communicating with his mouth and your arms and not elasticity coaching his neck. This is beautiful. That's right. So if he comes up a little bit and like if his nose just pops up, you still want the arms to stay soft and say, no, keep stretching in your neck. And if your fingers would say, no, but you could be a little rounder in the jaw. That's it. But like now, he's rounded up in his jaw, but his neck could be a little longer. So you keep that same feeling in your fingers, and now your arm can say, but you stretch a little more in your neck. Yeah, like that. Then it all starts to get steadier and more consistent. You feel that? That's better. Yes, lovely there. You're trying to straighten your right wrist a little bit, but you don't turn your right wrist into his neck. That's right. Very good. Yeah, and then go straight down your next long side. Stay on the rail. Go straight down your next long side. Stay straight one line. That's right. Yeah, how beautiful there. Yeah, this is much better. Yeah. But everything gets more, it has a calm look, you know? Good. Okay, and then when you're ready, go ahead and go to your canter. a little bit more back in your upper body.
in South Carolina.
Yeah, breathing in your arms. That's right. And that same elastic feeling like when I was at the other end. Yeah. Yeah. Very good. Shoulders
When
back.
she flies in, I have an extra vehicle.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Again, when his head pops up like that, don't panic and be like, oh, it's come right back down. Follow it a little bit and then fix it. Always have to follow the neck before you can fix the neck. So if he pops up and it's like you two hit each other like a brick wall, then it makes it really difficult to fix. So just be a little elastic in your arms and then come in. And it can happen fast, like it all happens within the same couple steps. That's right. Very good. Good. Okay. And then go back to your trot. Sit in them. Yep, careful you don't stand up. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Easy. Regulate that from your upper leg. Roll. And again, follow elastic in your arm. I don't care that his head's up. I don't care that his head's up. Don't bury your hands and be like a iron fister. Wherever his head goes, he needs to feel the elasticity within your arms. Your upper leg, your core is what says, oh, don't run away. Your arms just follow. And it doesn't mean that you just throw your arms away and let go. That's also not what I'm saying. It's just that little bit of elasticity in your arms that he doesn't feel like he's trapped. That it's like a spring-loaded feeling between your hand and his mouth. Yeah, and even there, soften a little in your arms and invite him to stretch without there creating a loop in the rings. Yeah, exactly. No loops, but just enough relaxation in your arm that says, what happens if I offer it a stretch here? That's it. Good job. Yep, and then change direction. That's it.
And thank God that I did push
Yeah.
myself.
Take your time. Yeah, very good. Okay, and then when you're ready, you're ready.
Turn that toe out.
Good.
But yeah, I went to a show. So that is something that happened on Tuesday. A show at the weekend.
I was at that show.
Yeah.
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 All four broken ribs.
I know. So you took some time off to heal, right?
Yeah, the doctor said.
Ah, super there.
The doctor kind of put it away.
Then again,
I can
right there.
understand.
Elastic doesn't hit. He doesn't hit an iron fist. And then again, sit a little bit more. That's right. Very good. Good. Okay. And then when you're ready, back to your trot. Just settle down into your saddle when you ask for that trot. Yeah, regulate it, regulate it, regulate it from your upper leg and easy in your arms. Easy in your arms. That's right.
All your structure that supports the right side of your body is calm.
Very good. Good. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, I think your stirrups might be here on the long side.
Thinking that.
Yeah, like I feel like. Yeah, I think you're reaching for them. I think that's a little bit of a misconception with dressage. People riding dressage is that you have to have long stirrups to be able to ride dressage. But yeah, and we do ride with a longer leg than a jumper rider. But if your leg is so long that you're like tiptoeing and like dangling, trying to reach them, then you end up gripping more with your leg. You know, it's a little bit of it's a backwards thought process. Is that a longer stirrup does not make your leg softer and longer. It actually will make you close your leg and pull it up. So I think let's try shortening it so you have that security underneath you to put your foot down, you know? No, we're gonna. No, not yet. We're gonna work on those transitions. Okay. Go ahead and put it back together. So just while you're walking, I want you to think about bringing your shoulders a little bit more back. Because what happens is you're a little bit like this. And then it's the way that you are sitting in your saddle and your shoulders roll forward in that downward transition that just kind of creates that instability from you. You know, your core strength, you have core strength, you're just not using it, you know? And then you kind of crumple, and it's like you're ready for the impact of that downward transition, so you kind of do one of these and like let him just bounce around underneath you. Whereas, rather than being ready for the impact and the jarring feeling, I want you to sit up, stretch up a little bit more, engage your core and let your seat sink down so that you can be the one to regulate it. You know, you have to get into that bumpiness to be able to regulate it with your seat. And you kind of do one of these and get soft and kind of skip along the top of the bumpiness, you know? So I want you to think about it as more of a stretching up, sitting down. And when I say with your hands to be a little bit more elastic, I'm not suggesting like just let everything go. But it's just enough that there's that feeling of suppleness there that you can kind of shape it rather than brace for impact. You know what I mean? So like already now, put your shoulders back. You're sitting like that, and then it collapses your core, and then it makes your seat weak. That's it. You know, I always say the position that we sit in, somebody didn't just sit around the table and go, you know what, let's put their shoulders there, let's put their feet there, let's put their leg there. Now let's see if they can do anything. The position came from the place of being the most effective and the strongest on your horse and the most effective and not getting in your way and all of those things, you know? So you have to keep going back to that, even if that feels hard, because you know that there's a root reason for why you sit like that. And then keep experimenting with that. Keep putting yourself back in that position of where you need to be and figure out, how am I the most effective here? What is the purpose of me sitting like this? And experiment with a little bit, you know? What can you do with your core when you're sitting here versus when you're here? How effective can you be on your seat, in your seat when you're sitting here versus here? And feel what the results are. Not just that it's a torture session of, I have to keep my shoulders back, I have to keep my core here, I have to, you know what I mean? I always feel like I can, if I understand it more and can use it effectively, it makes more sense and then you'll naturally go there. So just while you're walking here, again, roll your shoulders back, sit up, yeah, and keep your leg long, feel that strength through your core. And it's not that you have to like take your abs rock hard and just keep them like that. Move with them a little bit, but now with your upper leg, I want you to do it, just go to the halt and or even make the walk a little smaller. Feel that you can regulate that. Feel your upper leg bringing back, your shoulders stay back, think about your core engaging. That's it, making that walk smaller. Yes. And even there, go all the way to your halt. Play with it. Yes. So feel that. Yeah, exactly. So then walk on. So just play with that. Play with that feeling and keep putting yourself, reset yourself back to what's not quite so natural for you, but that you know in your heart of hearts is more correct. And then experiment with what makes what work. And let it become more of a natural place for you. And you know, you might do something and you'll get an adverse reaction. Be like, oh wait, that's not the button to push. You know, but push the buttons a little bit and find what works. And you'll be surprised to find out that it will all work better when when you're sitting in the right position. Good. Okay, and then let's do it one more time. A couple of walk calls. Just feel it all the way through in his body. Yeah, feel what the connection can do. Yeah, look at that core. Boom. Okay, and then walk on. Then relax your core, swing with them, but then don't collapse. Yeah, exactly. So now think about this. This is all going to translate to other transitions. Very good. All right, and now when you're ready, go on to your top.
Do you know where Miss Christine is for her?
Yeah, I haven't seen her. She was upstairs. Have you seen her
I haven't.
at all? She's just open that door and yell.
Okay.
She's probably just upstairs still. Good. Yes, very good. Okay, now roll your shoulders back. Get yourself on top of your seat. Yes, feel that's position. Okay, stay there. And now just experiment. It might go totally off the rails, but I don't think it will. Keep this feeling. Keep your shoulders back, and I want to see a downward transition that comes from your upper leg. It comes from you consciously keeping your core strong and not getting wavy there. Yes, and immediately that swing in your seat. Exactly. A lot of the easiest thing to do is get wavy in your core. You know, you sit down, and you sit down fine. But what happens is you sit down, and then you're from your seat up, it kind of does one of these. And like your upper body is as a whole still, but you just get this little bit of a wave through your core. And then that's what gives the instability in your seat. And then that's when he feels that you come down from that downward transition. And he needs the stability. He's counting on you to stabilize him. And then you get like this, and then he's like, where'd she go? All right? So you see how nicely he responds to the downward transitions when you have this nice solid core in the walk to trot and the trot to walk and the trot to walk to halt. But he needs more support going from the canter to the trot, so you have to remember to take this all the way up. So do a couple more trot walks. Really thinking about the engagement in your core and that when you sit down, your seat is a stabilizer. Good. And again, roll your shoulders back. Keep resetting yourself. Put your shoulders on top of your hips, your chin on top of your head on top of your shoulders on top of your hips. Good. I like your stirrups better this time. Yeah, you're not reaching for them. And now again, roll your shoulders, re-roll your shoulders. That's it. And then look up. Lift your chin up. Yeah, put everything back in alignment. Every time, every transition, realign yourself. And even now, realign yourself. That's it. And now from your upper leg. Yeah, core. There you go, wavy in your core. The transition worked out, but do you feel what I'm talking about? You get a little bit just wavy there. Your lower back kind of goes, woo. All right, back to your trot again. And that's the inconsistency that makes the canter downward transition wobbly. Now again, shoulders back. Look up. Put everything back in alignment on top of each other. There. And now keep your back strong. Keep your core strong. And walk. Yes! It was a much more prompt transition, too. Yeah. You have the core. You're using your core correctly for the downward aid, but then as soon as you feel him respond, you know, and it's like, no, you say ho, but then you keep stabilizing him. And it's a different feeling. As soon as you get the ho reaction, you can soften a little bit in your upper leg, like, okay, yeah, you don't have to keep saying ho, but you still have to have that feeling in your body of stabilization that says, I'm right here, I've got you. He needs to feel that security from you. I really believe it's a lack of security from him when you come out of that canter than anything else, you know, because he's really very sensible. But when he loses his balance, and then you're a little bit like a flag up there, he's kind of like, whoa, and then you kind of regain your stability, and he regains his, and then off you guys go, and it's lovely again. But it's that moment of, whoa, and I think you both have it a little bit in your head too, like, whoa, you know. You're already having anxiety about the boundary. Yeah, I can totally see that in you. Okay, so let's go on to that next one. shoulders back. Now he's already more jammed up just knowing you're gonna canter. Go back to that same trot you just had. That's you. He doesn't know he's gonna canter. Now realign yourself, put your shoulders back on top of your hips. That's it. Find the strength in your core. And it's not a rigidness through your core, it's just the strength that stabilizes you. That's it. That's better. Yep. Yep. Okay. And then when you're ready, go on to your canter. Good. That's lovely. Yeah. Core strength works in the upward transitions too. And I don't want to think strength. I want you to think stability. Okay, so now while you're cantering along, I want to see those shoulders back. Yep. First align yourself, the weight down in your heels, and then remember that elastic feeling in your arms that we created before you started. That's it. Now you're sitting with him, and now you're in his back. So now, on your circle, when you ask for that downward transition, I just want you to think about that core strength and stability all the way down. Come on your circle here. And then when you ask for that downward transition, I want you to think about sitting, just melting down into your saddle, but having that core stability all the way through. Yeah. And your seat stops at canter. Yeah. Core stability. Yeah. Yeah, 1 or 2 steps, but that's a little bit him waiting for it, you know? And you waiting for it too. That'll come. We're going to do more of those. But that's the feeling. But do you feel how he went trot, trot, canter, canter, boom. And he landed in a stable trot. But he was like, wait, oh, it's okay. You know what I mean? Like you were there to stabilize him, so he realized it.
I got confused in my head between being loose and,
Yeah.
and just flopping around.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Like I have
Softness,
to communicate to
Yeah.
him and then
yeah, exactly. Softness only works to a certain point. You know, I always say like you have to spend the first part of your riding figuring out how to keep everything still. And then once you get to this place of that you don't get in your horse's way, then you have to figure out what the next step of how you need to move to best help them. You know, you go from being this beginner rider, learning to sit still and keep everything good. Then you have to go, okay, how can I help them the most? Do I need to be softer? Do I need to move more? Do I need to move less? Do I need, you know? Then that's when you branch off and start to figure out how much. It's like how much to turn the dial each way, you know? And so with him, obviously you need to be really still with him in a lot of places. But then you have to have a certain amount of softness because otherwise it'll create tension. So you have to keep turning those dials. Yeah, yeah. Keeping that softness. And still the lower leg, yes, but your core, your powerhouse, that has to be stable. And, you know, and don't necessarily think still, just think stable. Because it's stable on a moving on him, you know, you're not trying to sit perfectly still on this moving horse because then you create this. It's just, but it's what you're doing. You're good. It's just enough that you take that little bit of the wave out of your lower back and that little bit of instability that goes down into your seat. It'll create the security for him. But then the rest of you stay soft and it's all nice. Okay. Let him walk a second. We're gonna do that a few more times. Marinate over that one.
it's like if I feel it then I can hear it. Like I can hear it and understand it, but it's still like I felt that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then I'm just like
And it's like, oh wait, yeah. You know, and you can practice that so much just walking along. I do that with my young horses all the time because I want my young horses to know that, you know? I walk halt. That when I'm walking along, if my core does that, they need to stop. Boom. Yeah, shoulders back, and you say boom. Yeah. And that you make sure that becomes instinctive to you. And now relax in your core and allow him to walk on. That he learns that core stability is silence up, come back to me. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Over and over and over. A million times. It's literally like putting your foot on the gas and the brake. Do my brakes work? Does the gas pedal work? Yes. And as long as you keep initiating it from that, you know, that you get it in your head, that the second you want anything to come back to you, the first reaction is here. It comes from here, not from here, not from yeah. Because a lot of people you think, wait, that core. Oh, you know what I mean? No, it has to be initiated through your core and your seat because that's his powerhouse is in his body too, you know? And so you have to think your arms and your hands, your arms ride his neck and your fingers ride his mouth. So it's not to say, that you don't have to communicate with that some in the downward transitions because that still is part of him. But you have to slow the roll of the main powerhouse first from your body. Okay. Yeah. So softness, the softest part comes in your arms, you know? And it's and you sit soft enough that that's fine. You don't have to worry about that. But it's the softness needs to be in your arms, but then the stability comes from your core. So that when he comes, because think about what just happened there. You had the stability perfect through your body. He went canter, 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 boom, right into this beautiful trot. And what got stiff? His neck and his mouth. So that's your arms and your hands saying, okay, don't be stiff, but your core has to. And it's a little bit of an oxymoron because this part of you is releasing and softening and following, while this part of you is going, whoa. But that's dressage in a nutshell. It's a big oxymoron. Can you say two completely opposite things at the same time with your body and get the right reaction? Okay, let's go back to it.
So yeah, and then you notice, like,
Yeah.
like when you like your trot's different, you can just thinking about the feeling.
Exactly. As soon as I said, okay, we'll go to your trot, we're going to canter. Like the trot walk transition, he's just do. And as soon as I said, okay, go to the trot, we're going to canter, he was like, yeah, that's not him. Yeah. You give him too much credit. Again, roll your shoulders back. Now reset yourself. That has to be, like, you want to think of yourself as like a scanner, you know? As soon as you go to take the contact, it's like, zoop, shoulders, hips, boop, boop, boop. Check off all those boxes. Even there, roll your shoulders back more. If you think your shoulders are back enough, I don't want to say do it more because I don't want you sitting like that. You know, it's not to go to the hollow place, but you have to keep resetting your shoulders so that they stay squarely on top of your hips. Yep. That's good, like that. Because if you don't have that all stacked straight on top of each other, then the core doesn't have a chance to be strong and stable. That's right. And then your arms just communicate with his neck. Your fingers say, maybe a little softer here in the brattle. That's it. Careful that elbow doesn't lock up. Remember the feeling when I was holding the other end of the reins? Yeah. Good. Okay. And then go on to your trot. Yes. Good. And then again, scan yourself. Shoulders on top of your hips. Your head on top of your shoulders. Everything in alignment. That's right. Elasticity in your arms. That's it. And now do another downward just trot to walk transition. Feel your core. Not get too soft. Yeah. Do one or two of those again. Yep. And then again, you get too soft in your shoulders. Core strength is here. Your shoulders stay back. Yeah, I like that one a lot. Good. And then back to your trot again. Change directions. Yeah. Very good. And then again, a walk transition. Upper leg system back. Elastic and following. Fix. Yeah, exactly. There you cut yourself. As soon as he did that in his arm, in his neck, you wanted to do that, and then you went, no. That was very good. That was a good catch on your part. And as soon as you relax it, then you can shape it. Remember with your hands, you always have to follow before you can fix. Follow his neck and then shape it and fix it. Good. All right, and then again, back to your trot. Good. And now, a few transitions within the gait, and just feel that your core can balance them up. Come back, yeah, and your arms stay nice and elastic. Yeah, elastic in your arms, but your core is what says, come back here. Yeah, your upper leg, a little smaller. Come. Let him come back. Ooh, not faster. Yeah, good. And then relax and allow it to go on. That's right. That's you just messing with your muscles. Experiment with contracting your upper leg and contracting your core. Feel what response you get from him. Just let it be a big experiment. And every horse will be a little different. Good. And now again, a little smaller, your upper leg, your core contracts a little bit. You'll feel him come back to you. Yep. A little smaller. Yeah. And then release a little bit and let him trot on. Yeah, come on, let him trot on just a little bit more. Soften just a little. And if you soften and nothing happens, then that's when your leg can say, come on, trot a little bit more, buddy. That's right. Good. And now again, feel if you can contract to make it a smaller trot. And then keep contracting it and go to your walk. Just settle down into your saddle. Elastic in your arms. Yeah. That one was really good. Okay, back to your trot. And that for you just has to become instinctive. You know what I mean? Yeah. You have to really think about it. Yeah, no, I believe that. It's just everything has to start from here and then go out. And I don't think that's, for me, it's instinctive. I honestly can't think of doing it another way, but I know, I teach enough to know that that's not your natural instinct, you know? But it's like with people too, like in the gym, you know, when you're doing whatever curls with your arms, most people are focused on their arms, you know? But it's funny, like, my curls come from my core, you know? And that's what you have to really, like, as a rider, it all initiates from your core and goes out.
Yeah, therefore, like, what do you do for your abs? Like, work out. Like, I don't have
Yeah,
abs.
exactly. It's that every time you do this, that your core contracts to do that, you know? That's the same thing. Every time you do a downward transition, it starts with your core. It's the same idea. So if it's instinctive in the gym, then it needs to become instinctive on your horse. Okay, back to your trot again. Yeah. Good. Okay. And then when you're ready, a nice canter transition again. Doesn't matter. Yeah. And then even that, like when you get squirmy in the canter, that's also your core stabilization. It just says, nope, you stay right here with me. And then your arms have that nice elasticity. And then you'll feel more comfortable being softer in your arms when you have the stability from your core too. If you're relying too much on your arms and your core is too soft, then it's not going to be instinctive for you to soften in your arms because that's your stability, you know? That's it. So now back to your trot. Feel the stability in your core and the soft and the suppleness from your arms as you just coach that neck. Yeah, soften. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Much better. Keep trotting. Keep trotting. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Yeah. Every canter transition doesn't have to end with a walk transition.
I taught her that.
Laura. That's right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just find that nice quiet trot again. Stay stable. And again, reset yourself. Shoulders on top of your hips. Your head on top of your shoulders. That's it. Elasticity in your arms. That's exactly right. Yes. The second you recheck yourself and find that stability through your core, you will see his whole body kind of goes, oh. Yes. He's a horse that needs that security. Good. Okay. And then a canter transition again. Elastic in your arms, the stability in your core, and in this case, it's a little bit of power in your seat to get into canter. Yes. Very good. And now would be a good time time to actually pet him with your left hand. Remember I said keep a steady, steady connection unless it's a very deliberate let go? Now I would actually let go with your left hand and give him a pet on his neck. And run your left hand up his neck. Yeah, just for a second. Very good. Good. Okay, and then your jaw transition again. This is the core. Yep. Upper leg says hold. Your core. Okay, elastic in your. There you go. That one step will go away as soon as it becomes a little bit more instinctive. You still, I see the process going through your head, and I can see you go core, trot, oh, let go. And it's that one step that it has to register in your brain that you need to soften in your arms, that he's still bracing against you. But that's time. That's just time and doing it a million times, because now it's only one step. Yeah, exactly. Instead of the whole wrestling match and pulling him back and getting that speed under control and, okay, now we're good. It's one step, and I can see your brain go, oh, wait. And as soon as that registers, he goes right back to it. Because now you're riding with your core. Now you've got the body, his body, and speed under control with your body and speed. It's just that last little element of your arms staying soft and supple. And it's not the release in your arms, it's just, yeah, you have more stability. Yeah, absolutely. So, and that's a big thing. I see that all the time with dressage riders, that they're standing on their toes and barely can reach their stirrups. That's not. We ride with a longer stirrup that we can sit down into our saddle, but the stirrups are there for a reason, to give you that support and the stability. Like, use them, not brace on them, but to have that support. Sure, everybody, we all need to be able to ride without stirrups, but if they're there, then, and you're dangling around reaching for them, then they're not helping at all. The higher I've gone with my horse, actually, the more I've shortened my stirrups over the years. Like, to be able to really sit in him and connect him and have my leg truly underneath him. Over the last couple of years with Grayton, I've shortened my stirrups a couple of holes.
I grabbed one.
Well, actually,
Alright, when we pick it back up, I'm gonna go back to the left. Back to the left. Wait, we just did a transition to the left. I would go back, I want to do the right. Yeah, no, I want to do the right, sorry. No. I did notice you keep going. So the last one you did was the left. I want to do it from here to right.
Yeah. No, because he's compressing. That happens. When they relax and they compress onto their hind leg and they lift up in their shoulder, it will come closer to you. Oh. That's funny how that works. You've never seen a Grand Prix horse with super long reins, have you? No. That's right. Yeah. This is good. And now I want you to experiment with your right wrist. Now I'm getting a little bit here. Don't keep turning your right wrist up. You can only pick on so many things at a time. There you go. Oh, well, that's good. Just underneath your crop. Yeah. But now be careful you don't have an iron fist there. Relax in your right elbow. Breathe a little bit in your right arm. Yeah, exactly. Good. And now reset yourself before we do any other transitions. Get your shoulders on top of your hips. That's it. Don't cross that right into the withers. Good there. Yes. Good. And now reset yourself again. Your shoulders back. Right on top of your shoulders. Elastic in your arms. That's it. Yeah. And now just experiment with this canter. Feel how he's a little bit held back? That's because your core is so stable now. So now soften just a little bit, add a little power in your seat, and move with them. Let the canter get a little bit bigger. Yeah, like that. Very good. So you can do that same experiment within the canter that you just were doing in the trot. Now compress your core, contract your core a little bit. Supple is still elastic and through in your arms. That's it. And feel that you can bring that canter there. Balance this canter back up. This will come into big play in your jumping. Yeah, if your core says come back here. That's it. Yeah, keep your shoulders on top of your hips. And now again, soften a little bit of your core. Follow in your seat a little bit more. Experiment with allowing him to canter bigger. Yeah, he doesn't need to go galloping away. Just feel that there's a little reaction in him. That's very good. And now again, contract it a little bit. That's it. And now contract it. Exactly. Hello. It's all dressage until you leave the grounds. And now I want you to contract your core again and let your seat stop following, and you're going to trot. And then your arms are going to, your arms are going to relax immediately. Not throw the contact away. They're just going to release that right arm. Yeah, and regulate in your poses. That's exactly right. There you were, just a half a stride late with that right side. You still have that instinct, and he still has that instinct for you both to grab. But that's going away. Instead of being a whole stride late with it, you were only a half a stride late that time. We're going to do it one more time. Good. Yep. Press him a little off this right leg. Easy. Not a thump. Just a little press. He's reactive enough. Yes. Feel that there's a little better left connection, but he's a little bit more playful in your right fingers going into this downward transition. Put your shoulders on top of your hips. That's it. Soft. Yeah. Regulate it from your upper leg. Much better. We're getting there. Very good. Yeah. Good job. Yeah. Yeah. No, but those were big steps though. It's just that awareness, that awareness of your core being able to regulate so much. That part of it, your core, your hips, your seat. That is your powerhouse. That regulates his powerhouse. And then everything else are just the extremities, your arms just work on the rest of his extremities, your lower leg talks to his, but you never really have to worry about that with him, Your lower leg is what keeps activating the hind leg, but he's active enough. That's not a problem. He goes.
Actually, if I'm not aware of my lower leg and I walk on it, he just gets
Oh, I believe that. Yeah. I feel like we worked on that last time, didn't we? Your lower leg. It's kind of coming back to me. Yeah. Your lower leg's much better now.
because I just was on him.
Yeah, you were like, yeah, exactly. No, I totally remember that.
Yeah.
Your lower leg's much better now. So now we just needed to move up to your core this time. New,
Right from the toes of all them.
right? Exactly. A new focus each time.
Laura, we need to go to Florida.
You know where to
I
find me.
agree.
It's like next week vacation.
I'd go.
Gonna get all Louisiana people again.
Come on. Good. Okay, we're gonna leave that with that today.
Since you got your camper
Marinate
bag.
on that one. Yeah. Yeah. No, but it was becoming more and more, and it's just experimenting. Think of it as that with both of you. Because I can give you all the ingredients, but you're the one that has to figure out how much of each ingredient to make it perfect for him. Because that's what's different, It's the same with all the horses, generally speaking, as far as the ingredients go, but the amounts are all different. And that's what makes each horse different. So rather than when you get on each
Said
day.
not such a big stop. Like I have to figure out how much pressure
Yeah.
is he gonna respond.
Yeah, exactly. So when you get on each day, you always want to think,